Okay, we're rolling.
This is an interview at the New York State Military Museum, Saratoga Springs, New York. It is the 30th of June, 2004, 10 a.m. Interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
Robert J. Wolf, April the 20th, 1918, Buffalo, New York.
Okay, what was your educational background prior to entering service?
I was finishing my sophomore year at Buffalo State and went into service, and after the war I went back and I completed my education.
Okay. Do you remember where you were and your reaction when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
Yes, I remember. I was at home listening to the radio, and I think like everybody else I was just shocked out of my socks. It was unbelievable. And there we are. Something had to give, so.
Now you said you worked in a defense industry prior to
Yes.
Entering service. Where did you work and what did you do?
Bell Aircraft, I assembled small metal parts that went into the wings of PBY flying boats.
Mm-hmm. Now how long did you work there?
Very short time, I would guess under a year.
So you worked there while you were in college?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now you would have been exempt because that was a defense industry. You decided, did you enlist or did you draft?
I enlisted.
Okay, why did you enlist?
At the time we were, a group of us went down as a body from most of all the basketball team, and I still have photographs that were taken at the time, and I think it was just the thing to do at the time.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you, you obviously picked the Army. Did you want to go in the Army Air Corps?
Yes, indeed.
Why was that?
I love flying.
Mm-hmm. Had you ever flown?
Not to any great extent. No, my experience in the Army, as far as the Air Corps was concerned, was a strange situation. I had completed basic training as far as pilot training was concerned, and we came out to Reveille one morning and they had a string stretched across two standards, and if you hit that string you were no longer a pilot because they had enough bomber pilots, they needed fighter pilots. And so they moved me over to navigation school. That's where I went to. Mm-hmm. Coral Gables, Florida, the Pan American Navigation School.
Mm-hmm. How long were you there?
I would guess the better part of 6 months. I don't really recall how long.
Now, when did you go into service?
43.
Did you work on the Norden bomb site?
No. I just looked at them. I didn't work on them.
I mean, did you ever use it?
No.
No.
Navigator sat at his desk and the bombardier sat up here. I looked through it, but I never used it.
Okay. What things did you learn in navigation school?
Celestial navigation was one thing, and all the other, at the time, state-of-the-art methods of navigating, which are today archaic, like slide rules and things. And I think I did pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you assigned to a crew?
Yes. Went to Sioux City, Iowa to pick up the crew, and from there we went through probably a month's training to become acclimated to each other. Shipped out and went across to England in the USS Wakefield.
Oh, so you went across in a ship?
Yes.
Now, did you go in a convoy or single ship?
Single ship.
Was everybody in the crew on board ship?
Yes. And a bunch of kids, GIs, that were stacked 7 deep in bunks. Oh, I would have to guess there were well over 3,000 people on that thing.
Did you have any contact with your fellow crew members, especially the enlisted on board ship, or were you guys totally separate?
No, we had contact. The officers were assigned particular cubicles that they had to just take care of and see what was going on. So we knew where they were, and we could look after them pretty much.
Okay, when you reached England, where did you go from there?
Landed at Liverpool and went to a distribution center that I don't recall the name of at the present time, but ended up at Molesworth, England, which is in East Anglia, and was assigned to the 303rd Bomb Group, 427th Squadron.
Okay, now had you flown almost exclusively in B-17s?
Yes, entirely.
So you picked up a B-17 in England?
Yes.
Was it a new one? Or?
Brand new one.
So did you get to name it?
Yes, we called her Better Doer. And
Was there a painting?
oh yes, I should have brought you a photograph. Maybe I can get one to you if you would like it.
Sure.
What was the painting like? What was it of?
Of a seductive lady and some stupid-looking guy looking at her and scratching his head. The co-pilot is Rogers. Of course, his name was Buck. So Buck Rogers was quite handy with a paintbrush, and he did the job. And
Now, how did you come up with that name?
I don't know. I frankly don't know. I didn't have any part of it. I think it was probably Buck's idea, because he was that kind of a guy.
Now, did you have that painted on your flight jacket too?
No, we did not.
Did you decorate your jackets at all?
I did not.
Okay.
I wish I had my A2 jacket, but I don't. I have one like it, but LL Beans.
Now, when you were in England, did you have much contact with the English people?
Not a great deal, no. I was there for a very short time, actually. I was operational for 60 days and flew 32 missions. So we didn't have much contact. We did have a few, like stopping at the pub now and then, but other than that, not a great deal.
Could you talk to us about some of your missions? Where was your first mission?
I can tell you in just a minute if you'll bear with
Sure.
me.
You kept a diary while you were there?
Yes, I did. I see number 5, and number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. There. Target was a synthetic oil plant at Hamburg.
Could you talk about that mission a little bit? What were your feelings when you went out?
Well, I can read for you.
Sure.
Kind of messed up affair. We all got back. Target a synthetic oil plant in Hamburg. The target was obscure, but thank the Lord for I can't even read my own writing. Saw my first flak, and I will say I don't like it. A lot of P-51s around. Harkey passed out from the lack of oxygen at the radio operator. Good thing Dale was there to help him out. It all seems like a dream, but realize this is for keeps. When we started, we went we had four missions consecutively in four days going. So they broke us in pretty fast.
Now, did you wear a flak jacket at all?
Oh, indeed. In fact, I had flak mats on the floor under my chair, and I had my flak helmet and the jacket, and I had, because it was Navigator, I had a parachute backpack, and I also had the harness fixed so I could put on a chest pack, and the chest pack I had rigged up with an extra pair of shoes, a carton of cigarettes, and nylon stockings and Hershey bars, in case I had to use them.
Now, did you ever take a lot of flak? Your
Oh yes, I still have a piece I dug out from the main spar of the aircraft that I was flying at the time, and probably 3 inches long, and if I would ever hit anybody, it would just tear them to pieces. I think I was more frightened of flak than I was of fighters.
Did you ever encounter many fighters?
Yes, quite a few. Me-109s and Focke-Wulfs, and that's the only ones I think they had going.
Was your crew credited with shooting any of them
Yes, yes, in fact, our tail gunner was credited with one of the first jets that the Germans put up.
Oh, he shot it down.
They shut it down. And other than that, I don't recall any, because I just don't recall it. So.
Okay.
So you flew 32 missions. Were there any that stood out more in your mind than
The
others?
last one.
What was that?
It was the last mission that the 8th Air Force flew to Czechoslovakia at the Skoda Works. I can tell you my reaction to that, because we got our fannies blown off.
Now, did your entire crew complete the 32 missions? Or did you have a crew change at all?
No, we went pretty steadily. I don't think we ever had any interlopers in our crew. I think our crew sometimes, the gunners filled in for other crews, but I don't think we ever took any on.
Okay.
And the last mission, I said, was to Pilsen, Czechoslovakia, the Skoda Works.
No, when was that?
April 25th. And again, I'll read to you from what I've said here. It was visual only, and it was covered. If it was covered, we were to go to Munich, first time over, a little flak and no bombs because of the clouds. After circling and giving our position, IP and heading over VHF, we went in and demolished the target. Flak was awful. We got 29 holes, and it looks like major battle damage. Lost one plane at the target. And I said we played ball tonight, and we won 4-3. Pretty good day, but I'm dead. They say, well, we stood down tomorrow, I could use some sleep. and got some mail.
Now, when you wrote in your form, when you turned it in, you said that one of your most interesting experiences was a birthday you celebrated.
Yes.
Could you tell us about that?
I went to the local pub and got a keg of beer. Had it taken, the engineering officer allowed me to put it in the waist of a plane that was going up for a slow check, and we had to cool it because we didn't like the English beer. And we didn't expect that we were going to go out the next day, and the boys got pretty well tuned up, and the OD came around and said, "You'd better knock it off, fellas, you got to go tomorrow." So that happened. I don't know how to put this in words that could be used. The tail gunner was a fellow from Louisiana. His name was Huckabee. And the next morning he didn't appear with the rest of the crew, so I went and got him in the Jeep and brought him onto the plane and put him on pure oxygen to bring him around. And we got him in the plane. And we got airborne, and then we got the command to test fire the guns, and that was completed. And until we got into formation, the pilot and co-pilot had all their hands full to watch for flares and things like that. So I was in charge of the crew as the navigator, and he called up on the intercom and he said, I've got to go to the bathroom. And I said, "Well, you got a relief tube, go ahead and use it." He says, "Not that kind of relief," he says. So I told him, after I called him back, and I said, "Huckabee, up in the, next to the radio operator, there's a little well on the floor where a camera goes. If you want to go up and take the camera out, go ahead and do what you have to do," which he did. And until we got into the situation where the ball gunner had to get into the ball turret, and when he did, he screamed on the intercom, "Huckabee, you SOB, you did it all over my ball." So what happened when it came out, it just hit the ball and it froze and he couldn't see. He says, "I can't see for it," he says. And he was so angry when we landed after the mission. He stood over Huckabee with a bucket of GI soap and suds and a brush, and he stood there until he scrubbed that thing clean. And of course, the conversation was something else. But
So after your final mission in April of '45, you went home?
we did a couple runs into the continent to bring back some of the POWs that were being released.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Now, how many POWs could you carry?
probably 15 or 20, I would think. We didn't have very comfortable situations for them to ride with us, because the thing was never rigged out with any kind of seats. The jump was very short, probably a half an hour from where they were to back to England, and they were just happy to, I guess, lay on the floor and get home.
Do you remember where you were and your reaction when you heard about the death of President Roosevelt?
Yes, I was on leave in Cambridge, England. And we came down for breakfast, and this very proper English gentleman stopped us and said, I am so sorry to hear about your loss. We didn't know what he was talking about. And when he explained to us what he was talking about, then we understood what was going on. And it was in Cambridge at a hotel where we were on, I think, a 72-hour pass or something like that.
Where were you when you heard about the end of the war in Europe?
I know where I was on VJ Day, where VE Day was.
How about VJ Day then?
Well, I was in Atlantic City with my wife.
Now, did you get married before you went into service?
No.
Oh, okay.
We are coming back from Lake Lure, North Carolina. We're on a 30-day R&R deal. And we were in a Pullman car in a railroad in a train going back to Atlantic City when the porter came through and he said, go back to sleep. He said, the war is over. And that's where we heard about it.
Now, you were still in the service?
Yes.
Now, were you expecting to go to the Pacific Theater?
No, because I refused to become a member of the reserves, which is another story.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when were you discharged?
August 45,
Where?
Fort Dix.
Okay. Did you make use of the GI Bill?
Yes, indeed. I did indeed.
In what way?
I went back to college and finished my education.
Mm-hmm. How about the 5220 Club?
I don't really know what that means.
For 52 weeks, you received $20 a week. It was like an unemployment after you left the service.
No, never got involved with that.
Okay. Did you join any veterans organizations?
No.
8th Air Force Association?
Well, yes, I don't consider that a veterans.
Yes, that's true.
I thought you were talking about...
No, the American Legion and so on,
Yeah.
but any organizational...
No, I belong to the 8th Air Force Association,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all I belong to.
Mm-hmm. Did you stay in contact with any of your crewmates?
Until they died. Both Franny, the pilot, and Buck, the co-pilot, they both have gone. And I do exchange Christmas cards with the flight engineer who lives in San Antonio, but that's the only contact I have.
So you don't know if the gunners are...
No, I have no idea. I've been toying with the idea of trying to get on the internet and see if I could figure if somebody else is still around. I've got a list of their last addresses and everything else, but other than that, I have no idea.
Okay, did you, how do you think, well, have you ever had gone to any reunions or anything
No.
like that?
No, I have not.
Okay. How would you say your time in the service changed or affected your life?
I don't really think that had a great effect. It was just another experience. It didn't do anything to change my way of living. It didn't do anything to change my career as far as what I eventually ended up doing, so it was something that had to be done, and so we did it.
Could you tell us where and when this was taken? You could hold it up in front of you toward the camera. Right there would be fine.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could tell you, I don't know. No, it's, I would have to think, probably it's a graduation picture from when I graduated from the Navigational School in Coral Gables, Florida. I was the Navigational School in Coral Gables was run by Pan American Airways, and with the name beginning with a W, I was the last graduate. And the gentleman from Pan Am says, when this is over, come on down and we'll give you a job. And I said, I may take you up on that, but no thanks.
Now, you donated this to the museum. Could you tell us what that is?
Yes, this is an escape map that we carried in our survival package. It's apparently very, very accurate, and it's made of silk, and it covers France, Germany, and Switzerland on one side, and on the other side, Croatia, Montenegro, Hungary. And I may want to exchange this for a different one that I didn't bring with me, but I should have, because I would rather have this one than the one I got, and I don't think you would object to that, would you?
No.
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 I think so. So the next time I come down, I'll bring it and I'll swap with you.
Okay, we'll keep this up in our office.
Okay, fine.
Let us know ahead of time, and we'll take care of that.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you very much for your interview.
You're more than welcome.